Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Speak English podcast. I'm David, your host, and I'm so glad you're here with us today. And of course, I'm joined by my awesome co-host, Sarah.
Hey everyone, it's great to be here. Today's episode is going to be super helpful, especially if you've ever felt stuck, like you don't have the right words to say what you really mean in English.
That's right. If you've ever been in a conversation and couldn't find the right word, or if you want to sound more natural and fluent, this episode is for you. Today, we're talking about how to improve your English vocabulary, and we're going to keep it simple, clear, and fun.
We'll show you why vocabulary matters, what mistakes to avoid, and practical tips to help you learn, remember, and use new words. Plus, we've got a role play, resource suggestions, and a 7-day vocabulary challenge at the end of the episode.
So grab your notebook, get comfortable, and let's start this journey together, step by step. By the end of this episode, you'll feel more confident and ready to expand your vocabulary every single day. Let's get into it. Let's start with the big question. Why is vocabulary so important when learning English? Well, vocabulary is the foundation of every sentence you speak. If you don't have the right words, it's like trying to build a house without bricks.
Exactly. You can know grammar rules perfectly, but without words, you can't express anything. Vocabulary gives you the tools to share your thoughts, your feelings, and your personality in English.
And it's not just about speaking. The more words you know, the better you understand what you hear, what you read, and even how you think in English. Vocabulary makes everything easier and more natural.
I've seen so many learners who understand English grammar well, but they struggle to speak because they don't have enough vocabulary. It's like they know the road, but they don't have the car to drive on it.
That's a great way to put it. And here's the thing. Growing your vocabulary doesn't mean learning thousands of difficult words. It means learning the right words, the useful words that help you in real conversations.
Yes. Even simple everyday words, when used correctly, can completely change the way you communicate. They help you sound more fluent, more confident, and more natural when you speak.
So whether you're just starting or already at an intermediate level, improving your vocabulary will take your English to the next level. It's one of the smartest ways to grow fast.
And the good news is, learning vocabulary doesn't have to be boring or difficult. In the next part of this episode, we're going to show you some common mistakes learners make when trying to learn new words.
Now that we understand why vocabulary is so important, let's talk about something many learners don't realize: the mistakes they often make when trying to learn new words.
So you can avoid them and learn smarter. Oh yes, this is such an important topic. I've seen so many students work hard, but still feel frustrated because they're not learning vocabulary in the best way. Let's go through the most common mistakes one by one.
One big mistake is trying to memorize long word lists. Learners often think, if I just memorize 50 new words a day, I'll be fluent. But the truth is, most of those words are forgotten within 24 hours.
That's because learning isn't just about memorizing. It's about connecting with the words. If you don't use them, your brain doesn't keep them. So, memorizing without context is a waste of time.
Another mistake is learning words in isolation, without any example or sentence. For instance, learning the word bark without knowing it could mean the sound of a dog or the outer layer of a tree.
Exactly. Words often have more than one meaning, and without context, it's easy to get confused. Learning full phrases or example sentences helps you understand how the word is really used in real life.
And here's a classic one: not reviewing what you've learned. Some learners write down a new word once and then never look at it again. But without repetition, the word disappears from your memory.
Just like building muscles at the gym, your brain needs repetition to get stronger. Review is key. And 1. Last common mistake: focusing only on advanced or rare words, while ignoring the simple, useful ones.
Yes, some learners want to use words like astonishing or meticulous, but they haven't mastered everyday words like funny, easy, or helpful. Mastering the basics is way more powerful.
And don't forget, many learners are afraid to use new words. They worry about making mistakes or sounding silly, but making mistakes is how you learn. So be brave. Speak, try, and practice. That's how real progress happens.
All right, now that we've covered the mistakes, let's move on to something exciting. How to actually learn and remember new vocabulary in a smart and fun way.
Yes, this is the part I love. There are so many great methods to choose from, and you don't have to use them all. You just need to find what works best for you and your learning style.
One of my favorite tips is to learn vocabulary in context. That means learning words inside full sentences, not just by themselves. For example, instead of memorizing the word excited, say, I'm excited for the weekend.
Exactly. When you learn words in real phrases, your brain connects them to situations, emotions, or memories, and that makes them easier to remember and use later.
Another great method is to use images or emotions to remember words. If you learn the word happy, think of a fee, moment when you felt truly happy, or picture a smiling face.
That's why apps like Quizlet or Anki are so helpful. They use pictures, audio, and repetition to make learning more engaging, and they work for visual and auditory learners alike.
Tip number 3. Use the new word immediately. Don't just read it. Say it out loud. Write it in a sentence, or include it in a short story. The more ways you use it, the faster it sticks.
I always recommend speaking to yourself. For example, say, "Today I learned the word confident. I feel confident when I speak English." It might feel silly at first, but it works.
Another helpful trick is to group words by topic. For example, if you're learning about food, study words like sweet, spicy, boil, menu, and recipe all in the same week.
Yes, that helps your brain create stronger connections between the words. And finally, don't forget about word families. If you learn create, you can also learn creator, creative, and creation. One root, many forms.
Learning vocabulary is just the beginning. The real goal is to use it naturally. In everyday situations, that's where the magic of fluency happens, when the words become part of your daily thoughts and conversations.
Exactly. One of the best ways to do this is to talk to yourself in English throughout the day. You don't need anyone else. Just describe what you're doing. I'm making coffee. I'm checking my emails. I'm walking to work. Simple and effective.
Another powerful method is to practice role plays. Imagine you're at a restaurant, ordering food. Use the words you learned. Can I see the menu? I'd like a spicy chicken dish, please. This prepares you for real-life interactions.
And don't forget about using English on your phone. Change the language of your device. This helps you see and repeat words every single day in a practical way. The more you see them, the more natural they become.
A great idea is to join English-speaking communities online. You can comment on posts, ask questions, and answer others. That's real communication, and you'll feel more confident each time you do it.
I always tell my students, if you're watching a movie or a series, pause and repeat short phrases out loud. Copy the rhythm and tone. This will help you sound more fluent and use real vocabulary in real situations.
Also, try to think in English when you're doing everyday things. Instead of saying "Vou ao mercado" in your head, say "I'm going to the grocery store." Little by little, this habit makes English your default language in your mind.
And if you have a language partner or teacher, use the new words you've just learned during the conversation. Even if you're not 100% sure, take the risk. Making mistakes is part of the process. That's how we learn.
Finally, I always suggest keeping a daily English journal. Write down a few sentences about your day using the new words you're learning. It's simple, and it helps you organize your thoughts in English.
I love that tip, David. Using the words in writing, speaking, and thinking is the key to long-term memory. The more you live in English, the more fluent you become, step by step, word by word.
1. Of the biggest mistakes English learners make is trying to memorize long lists of random words without any context. It might seem productive, but without using the words, they fade quickly from your memory.
Yes, and another common mistake is focusing only on nouns and verbs, and forgetting the importance of connectors, adjectives, and adverbs. Words like however, usually, or actually help you speak more fluently.
Many learners also fall into the trap of not reviewing the words they've learned. Vocabulary needs repetition. If you learn a word once and never see it again, your brain won't retain it. Make review part of your routine.
A big one I see often is when students don't use new words in speaking or writing. They understand the word, but never activate it. If you don't use it, you lose it. That's why practice is key.
Another mistake is depending too much on translation apps or dictionaries. It's okay to use them sometimes, but overusing them can stop you from learning to think directly in English. Try to guess from context first.
And don't try to learn too many words at once. It's better to deeply learn 5 useful words than to vaguely remember 50. Choose quality over quantity. Master a small group of words before moving on to the next.
Some learners also ignore pronunciation when learning new vocabulary. They know how to write the word, but can't say it properly. Always listen to how the word sounds and repeat it out loud several times.
Another thing is learning words that are too advanced for your current level. If you try to learn overly complex vocabulary before you're ready, it can feel frustrating. Build your vocabulary step by step.
Also, don't forget to personalize your vocabulary. If you only learn textbook examples that don't relate to your life, it's harder to remember. Learn words that match your interests, your job, your routines.
Absolutely. And finally, one major mistake is fearing mistakes. Don't avoid using a word just because you might say it wrong. Fluency comes from trial and error. Be brave, be curious, and keep practicing.
Today, we have a powerful challenge for you. It's simple, fun, and it will help you remember and use new vocabulary in real situations. Are you ready? Let's do it together.
Here's what we want you to do. Choose 5 new English words you've recently learned, or 5 from this episode, and use each of them in a sentence about your life. Keep it personal and relevant.
For example, if one of the words is confident, you might write, I feel confident when I speak English with my teacher. Short, simple, but meaningful to you.
After you write your 5 sentences, read them out loud at least 3 times. This will help you improve pronunciation and boost your memory. Say them slowly and clearly.
Next step. Record yourself saying the sentences on your phone or computer. Then, play the recording back. This will show you what you sound like and help you become more aware of your speaking style.
Finally, if you want to go even further, share one of your sentences in the comments below. We love seeing your progress, and it inspires other learners too. Don't be shy. We're here to support you.
And if you do this challenge every day for 1 week, you'll be amazed at how quickly your vocabulary and confidence will grow. Just 5 words, 5 sentences, one big step toward fluency.
You got this. Start now. Pick your 5 words and write those. Sentences. Small, consistent actions create big results. We believe in you, and we can't wait to hear how it goes.
Today we shared 10 powerful and practical ways to grow your English vocabulary and get closer to real fluency. Each technique we talked about is designed to work even if you only have a few minutes a day. What truly matters is your consistency and your willingness to keep learning.
And the most important thing to remember is this: learning new words isn't about memorizing endless lists. It's about creating real-life connections with those words. When vocabulary becomes personal, your learning becomes deeper, more natural, and much more effective.
We walked you through how to use reading, active listening, spaced repetition, creating short stories, and even flashcards with context. Now, the secret is to practice every single day, even if it's just for 10 minutes. That consistency will bring powerful long-term results.
We also talked about shadowing, using what you learn in conversation, and even teaching others as ways to activate your vocabulary. Fluency doesn't happen overnight, but when you apply the right techniques and stay consistent, it becomes a reachable and exciting goal.
If today's episode helped you, share it with someone who's also learning English. Learning together makes the journey easier, more fun, and more effective. Let's build a strong and supportive English-speaking community, and we're so happy you're part of it.
And if you made it to the end of this episode, it means you truly care about improving your English fluency. So type the word vocabulary in the comments to let us know you're serious about your learning. We read every single comment and love hearing from you.
Also, if you haven't done it yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video. That really supports our work and helps us continue bringing more valuable, free content to English learners around the world. You make this possible.
We'll see you in the next episode with more tips, conversations, and techniques to help you speak English with more confidence every single day. Thanks for joining us today. And remember, your journey to fluency is worth it. Keep going.